Hello, Rick Bell here with Build Your Own Watch. Welcome to the instructional series for the Series DECO, our new watch. I am very excited to be taking this journey along with you today and getting started putting your watch together. It's been really fun and exciting, doing this. It seems just like yesterday I was doing the instructional videos for the Series 1. I'm going to try to keep my talking down to a minimum. I had a few complaints in the first series that maybe I had a little bit too much to say and talked a little bit too much, so I'm going to try to keep this more to the point. But I do wanted to take this time to thank you, our customers, and I really hope you are enjoying putting these watches together, and as long as you keep enjoying it, I'm going to keep coming up with new projects for you guys to play with. And every new watch I'm going to do is going to have a different movement, a different case design, so you get exposure to different things. And as you start playing with these mechanical watches, you become more comfortable with different case designs and different ways that a watch is constructed. And I've gotten to the point where I feel pretty comfortable working on my Hamiltons and other watches that I have, and doing some basic things and repairs and cleaning out dust in a case if I happen to get a new watch that has some in it, which I have in the past. It's become second nature to just go ahead and fix it myself. So hopefully this is learning. Maybe one day you'll want to mod a Seiko, and going through putting one of our watches together is gonna give you some exposure. So without ado, let's get to it. So I recommend highly that you have latex gloves through the entire build, no matter what you're doing. That helps you avoid getting grease from your oils from your hands on the movement or on the parts, and you just want to keep it clean during the whole build. I would clean off whatever workstation you're working on. I usually wipe everything down before I begin working on my watches. You may have a watchmaking non-slip pad like this. They are available from Casker. I will mention that we do have a new toolkit that we've partnered with the Casker company to provide. So you may be using the Casker tools. You may be using tools from the old toolkit that we were using. You may have went out and gotten the tools or got the tools from in other stores. Either way, all these tools work very similarly. There's a few different methods to do things, but whatever you have, follow along, and I'm sure you'll be able to get through it. So once you have your workstation cleaned off, you can begin working with the movement. And I recommend that you hold it from the side. I've got this tightened down so tight I can't take it out. Hold the movement from the sides, being very mindful not to touch the balance wheel. That'd be the easiest way to damage the movement before you even get going. So just during the entire build, that is an area that you do not want to touch. Just to quickly go over the movement that we've chosen for the Series DECO, it is a hand winding movement. It's the Citizen Miyota 8N33. It is a pretty cool looking 17 jewel movement. It's skeletonized. We opted for the gold tone version. The standard version is more of just a steel color, and just thought it add to the vintage appeal of the watch, and was pretty cool. The movement is a 17 jewel movement, and it is beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It is a three-handed movement, no date. There are only two crown positions: pushed in, which is winding; pulled out is adjusting the time or time setting position. So I'm going to go ahead and push it in, and we will perform the first thing I want you to learn, which is removing the crown stem. That's going to be critical later on, knowing how to take it out and putting it in. Right now we have a temporary crown that Miyota puts in from the factory, and pretty much any movement that you buy is going to have one of these temporary crowns installed and would be included. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it balance wheel facing up, and we're going to set it in our movement holder. And I just place it in, let gravity do its work, let it fall in level, and then tighten the movement holder down till it's secure. And once you have it in position, we are going to remove the crown stem. We're just going to practice doing that. I want you to be familiar with it before we go forward in the training, so that when the time comes for you to remove it, you'll be comfortable doing it and you'll know what you're doing. So every movement has a detent or crown stem release. In our past watches, or our past movement, the 8215 with the Series 1 has a push style detent. So does this movement. You're going to find a lot of similarities with our build between the Series DECO and Series 1. There are some differences along the way, but if you did our Series 1, there's going to be some familiar processes, and this part you may skip ahead because you might already know how to do this. But the detent on the 8N33 is located here. It's this little silver button. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it. Got your crown, temporary crown stem here. The detent is this silver button right there. You see your balance over here and the detent here. So all you're going to do, and I'm going to turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. Take your brass tweezers, and the reason we're using brass tweezers and why we've included a set of brass tweezers with the Casker Toolkit is brass is softer than steel and thus less likely to scratch parts, especially during hand setting. Brass tweezers are useful over steel, but you could use steel tweezers to do this. You just want to be careful not to scratch the movement as you're doing it. But I am pressing down on the detent, and I'm pulling out. It's that simple. Crown stem is removed. The reverse action is true to get it back in. So I'm going to push down on the detent, and I'm going to push the crown stem straight in. And as I'm pushing it in, I'm kind of turn, and you'll feel it grab. And once it's in, you can wind, you can pull it out, you can feel it turning the gears to turn the hour-minute hand, and push it back in. We'll just give it one more go in the winding position, which is the pushed in position on the crown. Press down on the detent, and it comes out really smooth. Push down again. Turn, and you are back in. It's as easy as that. You may want to give your movement a quick wind. Get the balance wheel running. Don't wind the movement up fully, because the next step we're going to be getting the dial on, and once the dial's on, we're going to be setting the hands, and you don't want your movement running while you're setting the hands. But it's probably a good idea just to go ahead and give it a quick wind and make sure the balance wheel is spinning to be sure there isn't anything that happened to your movement during shipping and it is indeed running. So give removing the crown stem a little bit of a practice, and we can move on to the next step.